Okay, everybody, here we go. This is my lovely post-market wrap-up on this Tuesday, August 20th, 2019, and we really do have to talk again. And again, I'm being serious. We really do. Let's start off with this. Stocks got hit today, nothing major. However, lower nonetheless, and none of you are surprised about it. I explained this to you yesterday. This is what we would likely see over the next day or so. It happened to be today, not or so. Very simple to understand the dynamics of this market. It's the truth. As most of you know, I'm more of a macro guy, and that means I need to study everything. I need to take in aspects of what's going on around the world, currency, bonds, obviously political rhetoric, because that's a major driver here in the market. And meanwhile, I boil it all down to being a day trader. That's all I do now. And I've become quite good at it, honestly, and so can you. Take advantage of my quant system. It's 100% free right on my website for all of you, for anyone that wants it. Utilize it again. Learn these markets, and you will not regret it. All right, look, so here's the story, and it's humongous. It got a lot of coverage earlier, but I want to elaborate on this just in case you missed it. Here, the Volcker Rule. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but let me give you a little background and tell you what just happened today. The Volcker Rule was put in place after the financial crisis. How nice. Okay. The Volcker Rule disallowed the Wall Street banks from using their own balance sheet, their own customers' funds, to make speculative bets on the market. And we all know how that played out. This is why the Volcker Rule was important in my view. This has been pretty much had all of its teeth removed today. So the Volcker Rule, or a new version of it, is now in play. And this is a tremendous, and I cannot stress this again, a tremendous win for the Wall Street banks. In fact, it's almost immeasurable how big this is in this environment, especially. We're going to put that together too. So now that there's been this new version of the Volcker Rule, these major banks can again use their own balance sheet, speculative trades, proprietary trading, and not just that. Just like, Goldman Sachs is the big standout here because I think most of you are familiar with that. Goldman Sachs was betting against their own clients during the meltdown. Now, the Volcker Rule would not have allowed that to happen. This new version allows that to happen. So the Wall Street banks, again, got a tremendous win today. And let me explain to you how this played out real quick. In 2018, please look this up for yourself. As a matter of fact, I wrote an article earlier today, and I'm going to place a link to that article that will outline this for you so you can have a clearer understanding in the description of this video, but I'll explain it to you here real quick. In 2018, the Trump administration was lobbied hard by the Wall Street banks. The Wall Street banks were asking President Trump's bank regulators to eliminate the Volcker Rule. Well, at least we got to give a little credit where credit's due. The president did not eliminate the rule. It's still there, although it has no teeth. It has no teeth anymore. Look, the banks always get what they want. You know that. Do you think it's any surprise why the president talks to the 6 banks that run the Fed? The day the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 800 points, they're in bed together. They're all playing the game. They're playing this like a grand piano. And there are so many people that believe things at face value. They really do. They don't realize the mask that is on. It's incredible to me. People think that what lies behind the mask is beautiful because there is no mask. It's just a sick thing. But anyway, so big win for Wall Street. Volcker Rule has no teeth anymore. This is going to be a free-for-all for the investment banks when this whole thing comes down. They're going to bet against their clients using the client's own money. How's that? How does that feel for those of you that are going to be on the losing end of this? Because you will be. a lot of you are going to be, to know that your bank used your funds to bet against you. This is why I believe this is a big mistake. And the only reason why this new version of the Volcker Rule is out is to make the Wall Street banks able to capitalize on what is coming down the pike, using your money against you. I think people should be up in arms. I think people should be tweeting the president, how dare he allow this to happen. It's his bank regulators. Look, they're his bank regulators. So I don't want to hear a damn word from some imbecile out here who's going to say, Greg, you're picking on the president. Really? Tell me where I got this wrong. I freaking dare you. Okay? You can't. Believe me. Don't even try, because you're going to look like an idiot. I just can't take it. It's the truth. All right, so that's a big story. Again, I will place a link in the description of this video so you can read about it a little further and make some noise about it. You know, really let people know that you've had just about enough, or maybe you've already had enough. Because the only way something will ever be done, and you'll probably end up losing anyway, is to make noise. Tweet the president, bank regulators. I mean, seriously, won't matter. Again, we're bugs. They're going to be squashed under the weight of this entire thing. Let's move forward. How about this one? GSE. You know what that stands for? Global Synchronized Easing. Hold on a second. Who's been talking about this for like months now? I've explained to you that world central banks, remember Steve Leisman? Do you remember when Steve Leisman was on CNBC? I took a nice snapshot of it, and he was talking to some thing across from him. They were saying, do you think that world central banks are colluding with each other? Because they're all doing the same thing at the same time. Duh! Steve, really? Did they pay you that much that you have to sell your freaking soul? Seriously. So look, this is what we're hearing now. Look, we are in a global slowdown right here in the United States as well. We'll talk more about that. The only way to push this off further is for every world central bank to implement their final solution. Their final solution is very, very in our face, like this. The final solution for the banks is this. They want to own the world. They're going to be the lenders of last resort and the buyers of last resort. This is what they have been working towards for multiple decades. Every single leader around the world is calling on their central bank to do the same thing, okay? President Trump today, again on live TV, is talking about how the Federal Reserve needs to be proactive and start cutting rates, calling for a 1% cut. It won't matter, Mr. President. We're not that stupid. Okay, we're going negative. I think we all know that. Did you see what I posted on my social networks with regard to that? Duh! Yeah, go look at my Facebook feed and my Twitter feed. You just love it. And we're hearing more calls for easing, global synchronized easing, quantitative easing. But meanwhile, the other side of the president's mouth, he's explaining how our economy is as strong as it's ever been. I mean, this is, to me, and I know I'm going to take heat for it, but I'm going to say it right here. And you know what? If you don't like it, just hit the unsubscribe button. This is full retard. The President of the United States has gone full retard. All right? It is what it is. If you don't like what I'm saying, I don't give a damn. I'm telling you the facts. And if you don't like the facts, well, then go to your safe place. Seriously, what can I tell you? If you need a safe place, they're probably all over the place. I have no idea. Go slap on a diaper and go cry in a corner. It's just too freaking stupid. It really is. And here, look, every indicator you want to look at is pointing towards recession. We know that. And the bond market today, the fact that we now only have a four basis point spread between the 2 and the 10. You remember Navarro? Oh, the yield curve didn't invert. Idiot. Idiot. And one more time, idiot. Navarro. Oh, no, it didn't invert. It's going to happen again, sir. And when it does, what are you going to say? Idiot. It's unbelievable. Hashtag idiot. I have no idea. But seriously, we are in some kind of, this country right now is being run by the biggest bunch of mental midgets that in the history of the world. Our forefathers must be rotating in their graves, witnessing what we're seeing here. But we're not that stupid. I mean, there are some out here, and there are some YouTube blogs that are that stupid. I mean, they're off the freaking Richter scale. And if you were to present some of these facts, which are verifiable, everything I say, to them, they're going to spin it, twist it, tell you you're wrong. And again, because that's what they do. They have to hide in their little delusional world. It's unbelievable, but that's where we're at. Anyway, so let's just recap. Bond market right now is screaming that there is trouble ahead. Every indicator you want to look at is pointing towards recession. No doubt about it. Global synchronized easing? Why would we need that if our economy is so strong around the world and even here in the United States? Why do we need all these cuts, Mr. President? Why? Please, I haven't heard you explain that, how it's going to help the middle class. Did you see how the dollar got hit today when the president started talking about all this? Dollar got hit, metals went up. Good for us stackers here. Good for anyone that has a few functioning brain cells. But for the brain dead, you're just done. And I mean, you might as well just go, I don't know. I have no idea what you might want to do, but you're going to lose, and you're going to lose big. We all lost today. We all lost today with this Volcker Rule. Revamp of the Volcker Rule, and these banks are now going to use your own funds to bet against you. My suggestion, if you have your cash in an investment bank, get it out. Put it into like a credit union, something along those lines. Why would you want to give your cash? Because again, when you put deposit your cash, however you do that, into your bank, it doesn't really belong to you anymore, especially in this environment with this revamped Volcker Rule. They're going to use it against you. They're going to use your own cash to bet against you. And I hope you're happy about that because, again, this was discussed last year between the Trump administration, his regulators, and now it's become a reality. Maybe you should speak out about that too. Or maybe you should just keep your mouth shut and be a sheep. You decide. Anyway, before I start getting really angry here, because this stuff gets under my skin. I'm not going to lie. Look, I had a fantastic day trading today. And I'm sure most of my lines, this kind of a day was a good day to trade. Honestly. And, before I let you go, one more thing. I don't know how many of you caught, when the president was speaking today, this is something that I think we need to consider on a macro picture. Again, that's what I do. I'm kind of a macro analyst kind of person. When the president was speaking today, the stock market was selling off, and all the rhetoric coming out of his mouth about tax cuts, about cutting rates, about easy money, all this stuff. The market's not buying it. This, to me, is a vote of no confidence. That is negative for the stock market. The president, more than likely, is going to have to be schooled on how he's going to have to spin it a little bit because the spins seem to be running out of fuel. And again, I still stick to my guns on this. I could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you straight. I said yesterday that this market, because of the dynamics that are in play right now, are pointing towards more record highs. I mean, where are you going to put cash? You got a bond market that's, if you're in a debt instrument right now, you're earning interest less than the actual rate of inflation. It's insane. You've got to have your head examined. Our president talking about, they're being called forever bonds, people. 50 and 100-year bonds. Yeah, sure. I'm going to buy a 100-year bond and maybe when I'm dead, I'll be able to sell it. You got to be kidding me. But the president thinks this is a good idea because he's gone full retard. All right? I don't know the way to put it. It's full retard. And I got in trouble for saying that before, but I don't give a damn. But if you don't like it, see you later. But if you got a few functioning brain cells, and I'm sure most of you do, you will see that everything I'm saying here is not just true, but is 100% factual. Anyway, this is, again, my suggestion is now that this is going to be coming into effect, and I believe it's January of 2020, this new revamped Volcker Rule, you have time to pull your cash out of these investment banks and put it into a credit union or a non-investment bank, truly. And the best thing for you to do is take some of that fiat currency and convert it into a hard asset because people, mark my words on this. Mark my words on this, and I'm serious. Put a check mark. You got a little piece of paper, write this down. Mark, I'm going to give you a minute here. Mark Greg's words, check. Global synchronized easing. The fact that the president is calling for rate cuts here in the United States, more easy money. Every world leader of the developed nations now have no choice but to allow their world central banks to implement their final solution. Their final solution is very simple. They're going to own the world. That means they need to inflate. They need to become, and they already are, the buyers and lenders of last resort. Bet against it. Take the opposite side of that trade. And you do so by holding a hard asset, physical gold, physical silver, my favorite of all time, platinum and palladium, period, the end. All right? Let them play their game. Let them work towards their goal. We're going to work towards our goal. Okay? We have several goals here. I think I outlined some extremely important things in this video. And if you're interested in reading a little more on this Volcker Rule change, there is an article I wrote in the description of this video. I suggest reading it. I suggest sharing it. Get it out there. And again, don't let these banks use your cash against you. Forget about it. We are going to weaponize this entire thing against them. And how do we do that? Pull your cash out. Pull your cash out of these investment banks, period. Spread the word. Get it out there. I love you a lot. I'll see you in the morning. I'm so out of here.